Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's gaming news and we bring it straight to you. It's episode 90 this week. 90. We're not too far off from that special 100. We got 10 episodes left, so we were just talking about it. We're gonna try to come up with something a little special for you guys at that point in time. So make sure to stay tuned for sure. And again, for those of you who are watching, we're on YouTube, of course, but we're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. If you guys want to, take us on the go while you're in the car, driving to work or whatever. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow us on all those different platforms for sure. We appreciate the support. Again, I'm Black Ice, aka Danzel, aka Black Ice, and I'm joined by my co-host to my right. Oh, I actually got the pointing correct this time.
Yeah,
I was
you gotta do the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
You say to the right, but you really point to the left. You know how it goes, the mirrored stuff. But I got my guy Goop Master Flex over here, man. What you doing, bro?
Gooping as usual. The goopy spooky season's over, and now it's goopy foodie season. There you go.
Goopy foodie season. Okay, because we're approaching Thanksgiving. Okay, I see.
Does not sound.
You don't like goopy food?
Goopy food sounds like that. The slop they used to give you in school or in the prison yard.
Please,
Yo, I don't care what anybody says. School lunch always smack. People just complain because they wanted to be all bougie, but like you can't tell me them chicken patties did not smack. You can't tell me that.
I ain't gonna hold you. Them chicken patties went hard.
That hold me through all my life. I just wanted to say that.
Chicken patties were trash. I'm sorry. Y'all are wild.
Yo.
The chicken patties were trash.
Yo, you bougie, bro.
That's
bougie as fuck.
I don't care what anybody says, bro. It's because when you like hungry and you got nothing else to eat because everything else is trash, but the chicken patties always consistent and never missed. The spicy one always smacked.
And we all went to the same high school, albeit at different times. So I know the same food. And that shit was garbage, bro.
Come on, bro.
Oh, no.
But
the chicken patties was consistent. And it was always there when you needed it the most.
Y'all can miss me with all that shit. The best thing I ever had out of New Britain High School's cafeteria is when Krispy Kreme opened up on the Pike and they like brought it all to us so we could have it like during exams. Like there was some standardized test that we were going through and they were like, oh, you come through and get the Krispy Kreme donuts. And that lasted all of like 10 seconds because everybody in the school came through to get it. That's the only good thing I ever had out of the Britain High's cafeteria.
Yes, bro. Krispy Kreme sounds amazing right now. I'm not gonna lie. I remember I went to the casino once and the Krispy Kremes were just going out the line, the glazing on the top, and just like the best donuts ever.
Delectable.
Definitely.
All right, but we got to get back on track here, guys. No, it's okay. It's okay. We got a little bit off the rails already. I'm sure that's gonna happen a couple more times. But we already introduced my guy Goop, so of course we got to talk to my guy down low here, Mr. May 25th. How you doing today, man?
Different toilet, tired, but I am excited. I gotta say, I know we won't give this a lot of shine in our broadcast here, but it is officially Gen 9 season for real. Game is gonna be in hand in about 17 days, y'all. All right.
Oh God.
Listen,
okay.
I am be excited. If they drop the ball on this, I will be hurt and I will talk a lot of shit. But boy, oh boy, I think they might have done it. I'm gonna say that beforehand, and they might have done it, y'all.
Wait, you said 17 days?
17 days.
What, November 18th? On the Goop Day?
Till your birthday?
Yeah, November 18th.
That's a sign.
I hope it's gonna be a big month for games, though. It really is. It's gonna be a big month for games. So of course, we just got Call of Duty that dropped. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. We got on the 8th, or is it the 9th? 8th or 9th, we got God of War.
Yeah.
9th. Got God of War. That's going to be a hitter. We already know. As you just mentioned, we got the 18th. We got Pokemon.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean it's going to be an interesting month for sure. On the 16th is Warzone 2 and then the DMZ mode. Yeah. That's going to be huge. I cannot wait for that.
That game is like to be playable day one. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe that's why they gave themselves some time to iron certain things out. I don't know. I mean, the initial launch for Call of Duty wasn't too bad. So
yeah, it was a little buggy, but like I mean,
yeah, it was still playable.
Server-wise, yeah. Just got to go through some hoops, but
right. But it wasn't as bad as like some other things. And this is supposedly the fastest selling Call of Duty of all time at this point. So if they can muscle through that, maybe Warzone might not be so bad.
Definitely.
And then pivoting aside from gaming, we got Black Panther coming out on the 11th.
Can't wait to watch that. Already got my tickets. I'm actually watching that a day early. I feel special,
Okay. I'll be there on the 11th. I got my white suit picked out. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna honor my boy Chadwick, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, that's enough about all that stuff. We're gonna talk about the games of the week. We're gonna talk about the moments of the week that we really want to get into. But Chris, I'm gonna let you take it away though. You gotta give us the buffer for this week, man. Hit us up.
For me, I feel like I got two interests, but I can't really tell you. I think I played more. Between Pokemon Yellow, I restarted that game every single time I beat it. Back when I was like annoying age, so like.
I know what you mean, man.
I beat it, and it's still just as fun. Let's do it. It was that, but then if it's not that, gotta be Skyrim. Got to be Skyrim. Skyrim at least 5-6 times all the way through, easily. That one and Fallout 3. Tell you how many times I've done it. I haven't done it in recent time. Man, especially when they was adding in all those DLCs, like they did the werewolf, the vampire one, and the bro. Yeah, I got a couple random rogue floating around in the Bethesda universe somewhere because I've put my time in. I have put my time in. I really have. I don't know why, but Skyrim just kept on being fun. I'd like beat it 1,000,001 times. You always find something new that you notice something you didn't notice. You always finally achieve some kind of like armor or something that you weren't able to kind of get your hands on at first. I don't know, man. That game's one of these days we got to do a top 10 list, like an expansion pack. Like that's right. One in the hat just from right now.
Just top 10 games of all time, like you know what I'm saying. Yeah. That sounds like an interesting episode.
It's. Let me stop. I'm gonna end up going into a whole ass.
Dude, I it's always like that, bro. I agree.
Stop, because I know what I'm. But yeah, I'd have to throw that. That's my name that I throw in the hat easily. There's a couple more, but I don't even have to think about Skyrim.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't all this because it still had the Bethesda charm with all the bugs and all that shit's here and there, but man, that game had me like enamored for months. It's crazy.
Word. Okay,
yeah, man.
Manny, what you got?
It's hard to pinpoint one game. I actually had a couple, and they're all most of them I would say are probably in the same series. I gotta say, Grand Theft Auto games, I can always play, man. I can always play. Like when I'm feeling bored, I just want to just put something on just to fool around or whatever. I'll just put on a classic GTA game. Throwing 3, Vice City, whatever, San Andreas. I can play all of them multiple times. I would not care. I'll still enjoy it and have the same experience full on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That though, do you at least try to change up how you play them each playthrough or no?
I'm more of like casual, you know what I'm saying? Like I would just play the game, and I'll just enjoy the experience. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. But like I'd always like get the same, kicks and laugh, especially like, as you get older and then like you replay it when you get younger, when you were younger, and you just like realize some jokes and shit that you missed. But I honestly, like I said, I always enjoy Grand Theft Auto, no matter what. They always do it for me.
I feel that.
Okay. So for me, it's gonna be tough, man. I don't really replay a lot of games, especially now at this age. I just don't have time for it, and I tend to skew more towards like multiplayer games as it is. So really isn't a lot of games that get too much replay value out of me. But I do have to say, and I feel like I'm gonna be like a broken record here, but Elden Ring is the last game that I played multiple times. I got through 2 separate playthroughs, technically on my 3rd at this point in time. Yeah, I mean that game was obviously amazing, and I felt like I had to go back in and explore more. And on top of that, like I was also helping people play through it. So I feel like in that way, it kind of had its own replay value there too. Like I probably fought the majority of the bosses in the game at least 3 to 4 times. In between like helping people and like Melania. I know I've or whatever her name is, Milena or whatever. I know I fought her like 5 different times for different people in different playthroughs, and like somebody helped me beat it, then I went to go help them beat it, and so on and so forth, and the cycle continues. So Elden Ring definitely had to be the most playthroughs I can think of recently. Outside of that, Resident Evil 2, I definitely went back. The remake, I went back and played a couple times. I have every intention of playing Resident Evil 4 remake a number of times, as easily one of my favorite games of all time.
As long as you don't mess it up,
it feels impossible. It feels impossible to fuck it up at this point. So I
know, yeah. It depends.
It feels impossible. Like I don't know. We'll find out. But the other one, and this one I guess doesn't get talked about as much on this channel here, but Mass Effect 3 in particular got a lot of different playthroughs for you, boy. And specifically because, that one, it was like, depending on what I do, if I'm going to be Paragon, if I'm going to be this, if I'm going to romance this person, romance that person, like you were going to get different results. So I felt like I had a lot of fun going through and replaying that game a number of different times. So that would end up being my more solid answer, because it was a long time ago, but I definitely played that game a lot.
Yeah, I wish I played those games when I was younger. I definitely probably would have done the same. No, I just don't got time to really just mess around like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. Nowadays, it's got to be like, it's got to be gripping. Yeah.
For our younger viewers, we're sorry for sounding like we're complaining old men, but it'd be like that.
I mean, it is what it is, man. You just don't have as much time.
That's all it is, man. Like, you grow up, you got responsibilities, and you start adulting sucks. See what I'm saying? So this is what it is.
Yeah. And then you want to be a kid again, and you're just like, damn, I chose the wrong what is it called? I don't know. We just chose the wrong choices.
I don't even think it's the wrong choice. It's just inevitable, right? It just is.
Yeah, I know. I forget.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like though it's funny because when I look back at my time in Elden Ring, like it's almost like I was living in a vacuum, because I did have so much time, and I like drained so much time into that game. Like, I guess in some ways I'm not entirely proud of it, but like I was doing it like in doing it. But like playing in the middle of the day, like while I'm like working, like, any time I had to, in between, to like get in and like just get another boss fight, just get to another site of grace and do this, like it was like I spent a lot of time, and it's weird because I don't know where I got that time from, because but alas, it was what it was. Definitely a time I'll never forget. Also, not really a news item, but there is a rumor that early 2023 is going to be when the DLC is going to hit for Elden Ring. So I feel like if that is true, we're going to get an announcement at the Game Awards for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like only a month away. And we're about to do a stream for that one too. For sure. That's the annual Game Awards stream is going to be popping. But yeah, let's get into the stories for this week, though. Chris, thank you for the buffer. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, so first things first, we're gonna get into a little bit of Microsoft news here. There's been a bunch of random stories since we last spoke. I think they announced like Game Pass numbers or something. Talking about how Game Pass is finally profitable. Phil Spencer's been like on a tear with interviews and whatnot, but we're gonna pivot over to something a little different here. This is more in the rumor land of things, but apparently, Embracer Group, who recently purchased a number of studios from Square, as we talked about before. I think they purchased what used to be Square Enix Montreal, which I think they were rebranding to Eidos Montreal, and like they did all these different rebrands and whatnot. Somewhere in there was a news story today that talked about Eidos actually working with Microsoft and specifically Playground Games to work on Fable, basically. This sounds a lot like the partnership that Crystal Dynamics and the Initiative have with Perfect Dark. And obviously, we don't know too much about the details behind those agreements. And again, this particular one seems like a rumor. But I found it to be very interesting, and I figured, something that we definitely should talk about here. Because I think we've all expressed excitement for this Fable game, especially knowing that Playground Games is going to be working on it, and seeing the love and care that they've put into the Forza Horizon franchise. So I think we all expect something of high quality from this Fable game for sure. Now, knowing that the size of the Playground Games team, I would have expected them to be able to handle this game without as much assistance in comparison to the Initiative, which is like a pretty small team. So it makes sense that they would, pull in Crystal Dynamics for some help, as like a sister studio. I don't know too many instances of support studios coming in that aren't owned by like the company. You know what I mean? Like it just it's interesting to see that now this is two games from like this former Square Enix family, now Embracer Group family, that are partnering with Microsoft to go ahead and to make these games. Now, the first thing I want to, I guess, bring up or kind of hypothesize about is I almost wonder if this Activision Blizzard deal had already gone through, or if it didn't exist at all, would Microsoft have been purchasing Crystal Dynamics and Eidos? You know what I mean? Like it's obviously they can't do it right now. They're in the middle of this big acquisition, and there's a lot of eyes on it, and Sony's doing this, and the EU is doing that, and the UK government's doing another thing. There's a lot going on. So obviously Microsoft can't go and outright acquire any studios, but they did say that once this is done, they're still looking to buy more studios, and they're probably looking to buy smaller studios. Crystal Dynamics and Eidos seem like the perfect studios to, like, especially if they want to grab the IP that's involved. I mean, it may be kind of complicated to say that Microsoft owns Tomb Raider, like that, especially the way the people look at like the Call of Duty IP and like, is Microsoft becoming monopoly now, yada, 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 all those different conversations that are coming about. But at the very least, from the standpoint of talent being utilized to make some of these games that Microsoft does already have the IP for, it seems like Eidos and Crystal Dynamics would make a lot of sense. So what do you guys make of this deal? Do you think maybe Microsoft is keeping them in the back pocket, and that way maybe a year from now maybe they do get acquired? Manny, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting trend because like you mentioned, they are based on the same group. So the fact that Microsoft is asking for help and getting this extra help is actually I would say pretty nice. We've seen Perfect Dark, that whole hot mess scandal and everything like that. And I also do want to touch on what you said about Microsoft purchasing them if the whole Activision scandal didn't go through. I'm damn sure that if what is it called, Activision to go through, we definitely probably would have seen Tomb Raider and them whatever being bought. Shoot, Microsoft probably would have bought the whole thing instead of Embracer only buying a portion of it. But yeah, I do like it though, because it does end up, speeding up the process of these games releasing, and possibly even an exclusive partnership between each company, since they are, doing good for each other. So who knows, we might see a possible first party Game Pass day one game from these groups that are helping out you too.
That's a good point. Didn't think
Mhm.
about that. Yeah, I mean, if the relationship's good enough, then Microsoft may be able to work out some things to get some exclusivity deals done, a la some of the things that Sony's been doing with like
Mhm.
Silent Hill or, like whatever. So seeing that these studios are getting quality time working with first party studios on
Mhm.
Xbox hardware, and also by virtue probably getting a different look at the Xbox hardware as compared to if they were just working as a third party. Probably getting a little bit more hands-on work with like actual Xbox engineers who built the thing and can kind of work them through the SDK. So that could also lead to better third-party Xbox games from IDOS, and because apparently there's another rumor that IDOS Montreal is working on a Deus Ex game. So if there's situations like that, you can kind of see like strategic partnerships forming for Microsoft, even if it's not necessarily an acquisition, but maybe an exclusive Game Pass game, or even just having the game in Game Pass. Period. Like
Mhm.
all those different things can come into play. So that's a good point, Manny. But Chris, what do you think about this game?
I don't know. I try not to look at it from a standpoint if the be acquired or anything like that, because I've seen plenty of examples of it literally just being a partnership where you do get something good at the end of it, but that's all it kind of was. Um, but I definitely will agree with the idea that it could lead to things like exclusivity and different perks that you get in that way. Because I think and you are looking to get acquired, if you work out those kind of deals or whatnot, then I think that kind of lets these devs still maintain their independence if that's still what they're looking for. And yeah, no, and also I don't think it's a bad idea in terms of them reaching out for more the games completed. Like I'm not mad at things like that happening. Like why would I ever be mad at somebody reaching out for help to kind of say, all right, yeah, can you work on this? Can you work on this? No, that's not bad. It's good. That's very, very good. Like that's it's an amazing thing. You free up hands and you take with people. Um yeah, no, I can't say anything bad about this at all. It's nothing but a positive thing in my opinion. Um yeah, yeah, nothing bad to say. This is good shit.
Mhm.
For
Nothing but
sure.
positivity. I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it means we get, like you said, hopefully it means we get a better game, and faster, sooner, whatever.
Mhm.
That's been a
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. Obviously 2022 has not been good for the exclusives on the Xbox front. So we'll see what comes of that. Although Phil Spencer did say that he actually just had an interview that came out like yesterday or something, with Justine and her sister, and he said like he's fully aware of the lack of first party exclusives, and that apparently 2023 is going to be a big year. So
Mhm.
we'll see what that means. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, Starfield alone, if Starfield releases, then yes, it's automatically a bigger year than this past year. But
Mhm.
he seems to be alluding to some real hitters coming. So we'll see. I mean,
Damn, that would have been crazy to think that Starfield would have been coming out in just 10 more days, man.
that
yeah,
shit's it kind of hurts.
yeah, 10 days exactly.
Mhm.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean,
Oh,
again, hopefully, if they make a better game for it and they delayed it for that reason, that's fine. Because goddamn, I got God of War to play, and
oh
I
yeah,
I,
definitely, man.
I would have been trying to rush through God of War, like for like a day or two, and then
Dude.
yeah, nah, that
And
would
then put it
suck.
aside like Horizon.
That's exactly what would happen. That is exactly what would have. Well, I don't know. I think God of War is better than Horizon, so I would have probably come back to God of War, but it would have gone on the back burner for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's Eidos, that's Fable. We'll see what comes of that. But moving on to another studio, another partnership, I should say. EA just today actually confirmed that they are working on at least 3 games with Marvel. So we already know that this the Iron Man game is coming from the Motive Studio. But yeah, they've said that they struck a deal to make several new games based on Marvel properties. You know, we got, like I said, we got the Iron Man game, and hold on here. Yeah, they didn't really add too much more information from the press release from what I can see. But you know, one of the little blurbs they said here is that we've had a long-standing partnership, or sorry, we've been longtime fans of Marvel and their impressive leadership. So this is a remarkable moment for our developers as well as our players and fans. So we didn't really get any concrete information outside of the, you know, just it's going to be 3 games. So I do know that there was a rumor. I think we discussed it on the podcast at one point in time, but there was a rumor that EA is also making a single player open world Black Panther game. Now, obviously, at this rate, it's probably not going to come out tied to the movie because that movie is like literally like a week or 2 away. But still, it's supposedly in the early stages, and the rumor is that one of the former heads of Monolith Studios, who made oh my god, what's the name of the game? That
is it the Switch remake?
No, I'm blanking. They're not an EA studio. Monolith is an EA studio.
Oh no, I'm
they made Shadow of Mordor. Oh god. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that game was pretty dope. I mean, the combat from that game, and actually, it functioned a lot like a Arkham Knight version. Or sorry, Arkham Knight. Yeah, no, Arkham Knight. Sorry, I almost got mixed up. Oh, it functioned a lot like a Arkham Knight version, or like a skinned version of like Lord of the Rings, but like playing a lot like Arkham Knight. So, if they could get the combat down that was in those games and put it in this Black Panther game, fire. That's gonna be fire for sure. So, assuming that the Black Panther game is real, and obviously we know the Iron Man game is that's confirmed. What do you guys think is the third game, or at least what would you want to be the third game as far as Marvel releases go? So I'm gonna just kick both of y'all out the way right now and say that I want them to make Blade. Nobody could take that from me, so I'm gonna say that one now. I did. I did.
I don't know, man. Like, what? I'm trying to think, because like we already got Spider-Man, we already got Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would want a Thor game.
Nah, I would want because I think if they make a game, I want to see them take at least one of them and use it to take some of the characters that aren't as popular. You know what I'm saying? Love to actually see a game based upon Loki that was more story driven, but then at the same time, I think they could do some really cool things with an Ant-Man game, man.
Can we say time out for a hot second? Did you just infer that Loki is not popular?
No, okay, wow. They're all popular, like, right? Listen to what I'm saying here. I meant sense of gets more games. Obviously, man or a Batman, those are
okay.
That's all I meant.
If you're talking about it as far as video games, then sure. Okay,
Sheesh,
I get you.
Put the pitchfork away, brother.
I was like, bruh.
Damn. That's all I meant when I said that made. Oh, you can do with an Ant-Man game. Like, if you really, 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 really took the time to make this game right. Maybe say like they took the same effort that they put into that last Star Wars game that they had, the
Fallen Order, yeah,
and put that into a game like that, bro. I think it would hit. Because for me, like, I like Ant-Man, but out of all the movies that they do in the MCU, I could say I probably put him at the lower tier of things. See him get a little bit more what he's got going on. Especially if they got the mechanics right in terms of him growing and shrinking and making the world dynamic to really like adapt to that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That's so hard. Like, I could not think of how they could do that. Like, from a technical standpoint alone, that'd be so different. Like, it would have to be extremely linear. Like, you couldn't just go big and small whenever you wanted and go anywhere, because then you have to like build out detailed levels on a microscopic level and then a granular level too. Like if you think about It Takes Two and how that world exists when they're small, and there's obviously a lot of things going on around them, but like it's cinematically done so that there's a lot of things going around them. But imagine all that stuff is happening, and then you're like, oh, bet I want to be big now, and then like, boom, like now you're going from like being normal size to being like giant man, and it's like, oh shit, like now you have to render an entire world. That shit would be dope, but like I feel like that's virtually impossible with the technology that we have right now.
Well, UE5 with all that Matrix bullshit configured.
It's gonna be a basic ass world. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's gonna be virtually impossible as far as I can tell. But I'm here with you. I want it. We're talking a pipe dream. I want it.
No, yeah.
I want it. I
just think it'd be so cool, man. He has so much potential with the universe that you can build around him for a video game. You know, like I think I'd way more rather either that or even a Doctor Strange game. I think would be cool.
The Doctor Strange game would be dope as fuck.
Yeah,
that would be dope as fuck.
Yeah, that could be cool too. But man, Ant-Man, I think show my bruh some love, bruh. Come on, man. It'd be cool.
If I'm thinking of something that's maybe a little bit more, I guess, realistic around the systems that we have in place nowadays, I think a Daredevil game would really hit.
Why you gotta say that, man? I was gonna say that.
sorry.
I was like sitting here. I'm gonna say Daredevil. I think you freaking say it.
Sorry.
Now, because I was gonna say, like, you mentioned Arkham style fighting for, Black Panther, and I'm like, I think that would be perfect on Daredevil. You know, you might not, have a glider or whatever it is, zip shooter shit, but like, I feel like the Arkham style game plays into.
Hold on, what you mean? My guy got the cane, and the cane had it had like a string on it. Like he could swing. Like if you read the comic books, there are moments, especially when he hooks up with Spider-Man, they're like swinging through the city. I mean, it's kind of a little unrealistic in comparison. Well, I mean, both of them unrealistic. Actually, no, just forget that I said that.
Yes.
But Daredevil is like swinging through the city with his cane. Like he throws it out and like hooks onto things, kind of like Batman, and then he swings. So it's there. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's there, then I mean that's there. Don't think he's blind, so he can't drive.
I don't believe that. I believe he can drive.
Oh, he definitely could drive. I think.
I think if he could, ain't no reason why this man. I don't care what nobody says. Nah, my brother could drive. You wonder?
Oh boy, Matt Murdock.
I bet you that's gonna be like a thing. Like this Daredevil show that's coming out in Disney Plus at some point in time, like they'll have like a moment where he drives. Like it'll be like a very short thing, and they'll make like somewhat of a joke about it. But like I feel like that could happen. I can see it working.
We could do a really high thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if he thinks he could pull it off or not. That's a really cool pull off in there. Like I never had to actually drive.
Mm-hmm.
And now like
Disney, Marvel, y'all know where to send the check. I got the idea right here.
They ain't gonna do it, man. I feel like they're gonna focus on a major character. Probably make a Hulk game before Daredevil.
Oh no, I was just talking about the Daredevil show, like that thing we just talked about with the driving sequence. But yeah, if y'all want to make the game too, I mean, y'all not really gonna cut us a check because that's not an original idea necessarily. But just do that. Do it. Honestly, I think it's pretty likely that they could do it. I don't think it's that far fetched. I mean, Daredevil's a pretty well-known person too. Like I wouldn't.
He was. I would say he definitely had the best show out of all the Netflix ones. So.
Oh, without a doubt.
You could make a game almost Max Payne game and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that shit would be lit, bro. Oh man, just thinking about that as well. Wow.
Shit, if you're talking about Max Payne, you're talking about the Punisher. The Punisher basically is Max Payne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except for Max Payne had a lot of painkillers. But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
PK.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying, this Iron Man game that takes care of like your biggest like well, not your biggest, but like one of your most well-known heroes. The Black Panther game also takes care of a very well-known, beloved character. You obviously can't touch Spider-Man because Sony's doing their thing over there. But I think that leaves them some room for like a lesser known, like a Daredevil's still popular, so I'm not gonna say lesser known necessarily in that like as a slight, but in comparison to Black Panther and Iron Man and where they are right now in the MCU, because really that's what feeds a lot of this stuff too, right? Like you're trying to make sure that all this transmedia shit feeds each other. So I would imagine that it might feed into like another hero that's getting a show or a movie or something. So Daredevil could make sense. Blade could make sense. Yeah, we'll see.
How about this? How about you make a Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but like a good one? Well, I'm not gonna say the other ones aren't good. Like I don't know.
Ultimate Alliance they're very good games for what they are.
I haven't played the third one, but I don't know. Like it's not that. It's like I feel like the outdated top view camera. I feel like they gotta go.
I get what you're saying. Like you basically want the Avengers done properly, where it's in 3D and like it's more interactive. And I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we even have an example of that nowadays? Like, what would be like an
Ultimate Alliance or?
Wait, like what you're saying you want out of it, like basically like a better done Avengers game, like Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't count because you're only playing as one person, but like it would need to have co-op elements, right? So,
I
don't know. Ooh, what if they made an X-Men or a Fantastic Four game? What if that's the route they were going?
Well, actually, the X-Men core. I know. Insomniac got the Wolverine one. That's gonna be exciting. Deadpool?
It could be cool.
That
could be cool.
You don't think EA will do a good Deadpool?
No. Nope. I don't think they have the ability to go and do the things that make Deadpool. So no.
Yeah.
I want them to stay away from that.
I feel like if Insomniac made Deadpool,
I feel like Insomniac,
a Rockstar, bro.
I was just gonna say, I feel like Insomniac would be on the same bullshit. It would have to be somebody who doesn't give a fuck and would be more raw about it.
Well, I mean, when you look at Insomniac games, Sunset Overdrive, that shit was like, a Deadpool, like them breaking the fourth wall kind of shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't raunchy or anything like that. It was just like fun, like breaking the fourth wall fun, but like it wasn't like.
But like I feel like they can do that. Like a fucking.
I feel like they could. I just don't think they will. Like these are the same guys who make Ratchet and Clank.
But they made Sunset Overdrive.
Okay, but like Sunset Overdrive is like the teen version of like what we're talking about here. Like we need it to be M. Like we need it to go all the way left.
M.
We need the NC and the AO. We need the adult only version.
The AO.
I think they can pull it off, honestly.
To the Rockstar, bro. I'm telling you, they'll make a damn good Deadpool game.
Rockstar ain't gonna do it. They would make a damn.
I know they,
game.
but
they still gotta finish GTA 6, slow down.
But you need a studio that just is on that I don't give a fuck type shit. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Insomniac should do Deadpool just for the simple fact that what is it called? Deadpool and Wolverine. You gotta have that duo right there.
I'd rather Spider-Man and Deadpool, but like this, I mean, Spidey Pool is like a thing in the comic books, so like
I know, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. You probably know more. So
I would if there was anyone I'd rather see him collaborate with outside of like the obvious like Wolverine stuff that's happening right now, it would be Spider-Man. So if Insomniac could get it so that they could do that, I would be okay with it. But I still don't think they would do it right. Like you need a studio that really is just like on some fuck shit, don't care about nothing. Like even at some level, like I mean, they're not gonna do it, and I don't. They need to gain back a lot of trust with people. But like someone like CD Projekt Red, who's like is used to do it. Like Cyberpunk is a wild ass game. They don't give a fuck about what's going on in that game, right? It's like one of the closest things as far as raw wild content to GTA that we've gotten in that style of game. So like. They could take that type of property and just be like, okay, we can do the dark humor, we can do the like nudity and all the other stuff that's involved. Like I just don't see Insomniac doing that, and I don't think PlayStation would do it. So
yeah,
Yeah, I think they're going for like the family friendly sort of vibe in a way, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, it is what it is on that. I mean, we'll see what we get. I would love to get some more information about all of this shit at the Game Awards because that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like even just dropping one of those new games, you know, even if we saw something on the Iron Man game at the least, like get a gameplay snippet or something, that would be dope. So we'll see. But
yeah, hopefully.
last, we're here to talk about the main attraction here, the big game, and that's Call of Duty that came out this past week. So Modern Warfare 2, obviously, you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier. It's one of the fastest selling Call of Duties of all time. We all have it. We've all been playing it. And Chris, I'm going to start with you on this one here because, you know, we were pleasantly surprised to find out that you have it. You've been playing it in secrecy.
Like an hour or two, like a couple nights back, I got on for a little bit and played. My first impressions, I like it, and I don't know if this is a me thing, something to do with my speeds or something like that. Even though the last game worked perfectly fine for me in this way, but it doesn't feel smooth yet, like the way how the game runs, and I don't know what's up with that. So like a lot of times, especially when I'm shooting, it happens a little bit while running around, but when I'm shooting or I'm in a duel with somebody, I'll lose her frame, and then by the time it like kicks back in, I'm dead. Or like there's a lot of times where it feels like, yo, I know I shot first. Not only did I shoot first, I got off at least 3-4 shots, and I still died because it like jumps. I don't know how to like get it to run properly.
I think that's
So
netcode.
So
I don't think there's anything to do to fix it other than like I think it's like internet connection. Like I think there's like a level of lag because I think we all experience it. And Manny and I recently have been playing, and just to clarify for everybody, we're talking exclusively about multiplayer here. But yeah, there's been moments where like Manny and I are playing and we're like, I shouldn't have died. Like there's no like I shot first, you know what I mean? But like that net code that'll trip you up, and so and the early releases of Call of Duty sometimes fall a victim to that. So maybe after a couple patches, you might notice it being a little bit more consistent. But yeah, that's a common trope of like I shot first, but then you look at the kill cam and it's like I didn't even get a bullet off.
Yeah.
Bro, like I'm feel better about that because I thought it was just me. I thought it was I was using some shitty equipment or something, and my shit just wasn't running right. I didn't know what's going on, guys. I really didn't know. But yeah, man, like I'm like, dude, why when I start shooting, I'm aiming here and then it jumps, and then I'm aiming here and I'm dead? What is this? It happened so many times that other night. Because I'm trying to level up that MP7 because I feel like you gotta at least have 2 weapons ready to go for at least.
Yes, sir.
But I don't mind a lot of the other things. There's a lot of shit that people are complaining about with the game, and it's the same shit that they complained about with 2019. And honest, a lot of that stuff is they're gonna be like, well, that's because you're a newer player and you don't really care. It doesn't really bother me as much. Steps and shit like that. I get it that they're there and they are loud. But like the biggest thing to me to be complaining about, I'm more mad at them taking out smaller things that like why did you take them out of the game for no reason? So like the idea that they didn't put a leaderboard in at launch and shit like that, it's really odd. Really weird. The UI for the gunsmith, weird. It was good in 2019. I don't get why do motherfuckers make shit harder? Like what would you do that for? Like, what did you make this for?
I guess they just didn't want to make the same game, you know?
But like, why would you take something that was simple and make it convoluted? It's the same some app download and you got to update, and like you're looking at the new. Bro, why'd y'all move this from here to here?
I hate that so much.
It was a one-click thing. I gotta press 2 different clicks. Why? You're messing up my muscle memory, man. Like this is stupid. There's a lot of little stupid shit like that in the game. But overall, I am enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful game. I love the way audio works, the way how I did in 2019. I think they've nailed the gun sounds and the mechanics and all that
Mm-hmm.
very well. They just got to iron some of that shit out. It just feels smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Once it feels smooth, kind of starts kicking in,
Mm-hmm.
I might start feeling a lot better about it. But right now, about like a 6 or 7. I'm probably around a 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a 6 out of 10 right now. Yeah.
You beat the campaign? I don't know if you mentioned that, if I missed that, but
I played things about it. People shit was saying.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
The fact that he said 6, I know he didn't play campaign. I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
Manny, what you think, man?
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it myself. Almost reached max level. Sadly, haven't touched grass in a while, I guess you can say. But I'm it's a love-hate relationship with some things. First and foremost, the armory and the gunsmith and the whole unlocking system for weapons. It's good in the sense of like it makes you try things and see which one you like. Um, and a part of it is like if you unlock stuff, perma unlock it for other guns as well, which is also a good thing too. One complaint about the armory, or a couple complaints I guess you could say, is I don't like how they do lock you in that, and in order to try some new guns you gotta like branch out and try other guns, because you end up grinding guns that are complete trash. And especially if you want to get some certain attachments, you gotta like hit that shitty gun to max level. Like it's good that a perma unlocks it, but like it sucks that you gotta like use certain weapons in order to really get what you want. Same thing with camo. Like I remember, and I get, it probably helps the fact that a lot of people don't have a lot of time, and they do that easily. But like the camos is like one-time challenges as well. If you want like fall camo, you gotta like, I forgot. I think you used a fucking MK14 or whatever. But like, yeah, it's just some things are just like it feels too easy. And currently, there's no challenges or anything like that, no leaderboard, so you can really look at, unless they're updated by the time you hear this episode. But like other than that, like yeah, they really need to, I'll say, step it up a little bit and kind of like, I don't know if they just forgot in the patch or whatever, and just like give us that things, because like I feel like the replayability could be a little but like I mean.
Yeah.
I'm like it's like you're forced to, you're forced to play just to like get these things.
So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I feel like I have a very like complicated review of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna start with the campaign, I know we didn't collectively agree to talk about it just yet, but campaign is like, I'm not gonna say a 10, but like definitely a 9. Like it is very, very good, and like I thoroughly enjoyed playing through it. And I've seen a lot of reviews that said like quite the contrary, and I was very shocked to see that, because like the moment to moment action in that campaign like really brought me back to, like, honestly, I think for me, like the peak was Call of Duty 4, like Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, like the all gillied up and like all the different missions that you went through. They were absolutely amazing. And there's one mission in particular that kind of harkens back to the all gillied up mission, and man, like it really delivers for me in particular. There's another mission that like things go south, and it's called Alone. Let you deduce from that what you will. That mission fucking hit, bro. Like I felt like I was in Splinter Cell a little bit, first person Splinter Cell. Like it was a cool little experience there. So yeah, campaign moment to moment, like absolutely fantastic time.
Yeah, man.
The multiplayer moment to moment, fantastic time. But when I take a step back and I look at certain things, in totality, and especially when I'm comparing it to older Call of Duties, it feels kind of bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I look at the game, when I look at the multiplayer in particular, it reminds me of Halo launch. It reminds me of Battlefield launch. There's not as much content as I would expect there to be. Now, like, there's plenty of guns, so like that, I can't make the comparison as far as Battlefield goes with that. But like, what I like the modes, like okay, we have search and destroy, we have this, we have that, but like it's locked behind the quick play, and like I don't know, I just don't like the structure of it. So when I'm looking at the menu, it's just like I don't feel like I have as many options as I would normally have. And I get that, like, okay, if you go to quick play and you filter this and this and this and this and this and this out, then technically speaking, you can only play search and destroy, or you can only play this. But when I look at the menu, it just looks bare bones. And then like I'm not in love with the gunsmith mode. Like I don't know. There's a lot of random things that are going on. They like temporarily have taken down the weapons tuning. I mean, we'll see if that comes back up or whatever. But like I don't know. It's just weird. Like I feel like there's something missing for me. And as far as the gameplay loop of like basically you're just trying to get XP, you're trying to level up so that you can get this gun and that gun. They destroyed that entirely. I don't know, like one of the best things about Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the original one, was that idea that okay, like I start off with my M16 at level 1, and that's a great gun. And I'm getting my kills, yada yada yada. I get to this level, I get this attachment, I get this gun. At like every level, I'm getting something substantial, and I don't have to do too much else outside of just continue to play the game to get all the attachments and get all the guns that I want to get. And then obviously then there's challenges to get camos, and I don't really like that's a cosmetic thing, and I guess I don't really care as much about that. Like you can do whatever you want with it. Honestly, Manny, I know you mentioned like they made it a little bit easier, and personally, I don't care. I'm fine with that. Whatever, because people ain't got time. But the weird part to me is you're considerate of people's time as far as camos go, but you're not considerate of people's time as far as like grinding out attachments and all the other things. I just don't like this system of okay, if I want to get an ACOG scope on my M4, I have to go use like this isn't literally what it is, but like I have to go use like a sniper rifle or whatever. And it's just like I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to like change the weapon class that I have to be working with just to get a weapon on a different an attachment on a different gun. Like I just don't like that. Like if you just kept it the simple, like okay, I got to get to level 20 to get the ACOG, bet. I got to get to level 40 to get hardline or dead silence or whatever, bet. Like like I miss that type of progression, because to me that it was just easier to deal with, easier to understand. I don't have to go figure out, okay, how do I have to go get this gun? Oh, no, I have to go use this gun that I don't want. Like that shit is, it kills me. I don't like that at all. So as far as that goes, I'm gonna give that shit like a flat out 3 out of 10. Like that is horrible. I do not like that system whatsoever. Now, to be fair, it's probably not going to matter for much longer, because in 15 days from now we'll be in Warzone, and I probably won't really be touching much of the multiplayer. But for that time being, while I'm supposed to be grinding out shit to then go use in Warzone eventually, it's it feels like a chore, and I don't like that type of shit. I don't want it to feel like a chore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's multiplayer, overall is I enjoy it with friends. It's kind of like a hassle to play alone sometimes, and it's like you really can't try, because if you do, and you just end up in like a sweaty lobby and all that kind of things, and it's a whole mess, and you're just dying all night, and you just get burnt out.
Yeah.
And one thing I do miss about the old Call of Duties is like the old matchmaking system, and this non-existent skill-based matchmaking that ruins the game now, in my opinion. Like, for example, when you play like a sweaty game of S&D, y'all talking shit to each other every like round ending and everything like that, and you get through all that, and then like you go back to the main lobby, everybody's talking shit to each other, and like, oh, bet you want to be like that. All right, see me next match. All right, move with this. Like that experience from like the old Call of Duties was elite, because you're just interacting with everybody and all that. And now with this new skill-based matchmaking, you really don't get that experience unless you have like a private match with like 10 of your boys and you're talking shit to each other. You can't really like squad up with like 6 of your boys and hit a S&D lobby, play against other people that are in game chat and talk shit to each other. You can't do that no more, really, except for like in the same game. And like I don't know, it's just that's like the classic Modern Warfare 2 experience, and I do miss it. And it sucks that skill-based matchmaking ain't going anywhere. But
I get what you're saying, but does that have any? I don't think anything you just said had anything to do with skill-based matchmaking. Like,
well, it's the matchmaking itself, because like how you perform in that match is how they place you in the next match. Yeah, and I understand that, but like the system ruins it, because instead of playing in the same lobby, or default you to put you in another match just because of how you play last match. You're not staying in the same lobby to shit on some kids, you know what I'm saying, or vice versa.
I get what you're saying. But the core of what you're getting at just wouldn't exist even if the matchmaking was set up the way, like the idea of you being in a lobby and talking shit to people. Like that's not the way we play games anymore, right? Like everybody is in a party. It's usually pretty quiet. Yeah, I mean, I guess
you say that, but like every match, especially on SND, I be seeing the mic monitor, and like that should be lighting up.
But those people aren't squatted up usually. You're not in a party. Sorry, you're not in a Call of Duty lobby like with a bunch of friends in game chat. I don't see that happening as much. It's usually like people rolling dolo, maybe two people, and then then you get all the shit talking, whatever. But it's not even like shit talking. It's just like trolling, and not even like the old school type of trolling. It's just like people making weird sounds on the mic. It's not like nobody's actually talking shit about the game that's happening in front of them. They're just saying random shit. I don't know. I don't think that. I think there's like a culture shift in gaming too, and it's like everybody's in a Discord chat, everybody's in Xbox chat, everybody's in PlayStation chat, largely because everybody wants to talk to their friends, and their friends may not all be playing the same game. Also, I mean, I don't know. There's all different types of reasons we can go into as far as the way that stuff is structured. But just as far as like the being in a lobby, like the traditional like old school way of playing, that doesn't exist anymore. Like you'll get it here and there, but usually it's not the same. Yeah. But I get what you're saying about skill-based matchmaking, though. Like being paired up with the same people, like that doesn't really happen as much. I get that, so I'm here for it.
And the maps are like hit or miss in my opinion, especially that fucking border map. It's the worst map designing
to me.
Yeah, that's the one everybody. Border is,
everybody
border.
About that.
Too fucking crazy, man. Like, why y'all got so many cars out here, bro? Like,
it's too many cars. It's one. I mean, technically 2 lanes, but like, it's a whole mess in my opinion. And I feel like I don't know if they got lazy and they wanted to put it in for content, but not only that, but like I feel like most of the maps are pretty small, and you can like. For example, S&D, you can like run to the objective in like 30 seconds, not even, and like
and plant mad quick, and yep. I agree.
Yeah, some of the map designs is definitely hit or miss, and I kind of wish they focus, I guess, a little more on like how not to like get these flaws happening in the game. I don't know if it's because tax sprint is a thing, but in my opinion, I just feel like how this game is built for Warzone, and everybody can agree to that because like for example, the time to kill, I feel like it's ridiculously low. You walk around the corner, you got no chance. Two taps to the head and you're done, no matter what. Not even sometimes it's even one tap and it's disgusting, but I feel like the time to kill is only because when you're playing Warzone, you're gonna have armor plates. So that they got stacked on top of each other, so it's not like killing somebody forever. But there's got to be a way to balance that with multiplayer and Warzone and make it different. What is it called?
Bucks.
It's that like I said, the movement feels really fast, and that's why probably these maps feel small. But still, the movement, you could tell that's based for Warzone as well. And like, I don't know, I feel like this game, obviously, multiplayer is its own thing, but I feel like they focused strictly on Warzone 2 first, and then like kind of went to this last minute because they knew they could make like these maps and stuff like that.
I just feel like it's simple fixes for this though, right? Like just give everybody plates when you start the round. The multiplayer.
That too.
Just give everybody plates. Like it's not that deep. Like they don't even need to replenish the plates. It's just like once you die, you get more plates. Like that's it. I don't know. I find that to be weird.
Or just like somehow make the TTK a little longer.
But like you really don't have to you don't have to mess with the TTK if you don't want to. You literally could just give everybody plates, and that would solve the problem. because it would literally be on par with Warzone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
or just separate the two. I feel like they could do that too if they wanted to and call it a day. Like there's a lot of different ways about this to make it better.
But I feel like them not separating it is probably because of either they don't want to take the resources or whatever. So if you don't want to do that, there are simple fixes.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, right? If you're aiming center mass, you should, you're hitting plates, you're hitting a vest, whatever. So if you give everybody the plates and act like it's Warzone, then you're fine. Because the other thing is with Warzone, if you get shot in the head, you get shot in the head, right? Like that doesn't really change. So you keep that time to kill the same across both modes. I just feel like they would benefit with. I mean, I guess technically there is a level of consistency between the two, and I think that it's good to have that level of consistency between the two. But for players playing, I just give everybody plates. It just would. I think the experience would change for a lot of people. We'll see. I mean, obviously this little review discussion is tentative because, I mean, honestly, Warzone 2 and DMZ are part of the package, even though they're free. You don't necessarily need to buy the game for it. They're still part of the package, so we'll see how things switch up. By the time the 16th hits, because I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say about Call of Duty then. But yeah, overall, I mean, even though we're all complaining about it, like it's got off to a good start. Like I said, from the moment to moment action of the game, I really enjoy it. Even like they have this co-op mode that I've been playing a couple people, ton of fun, like a ton of fun. Like we had some stupid stuff happen today where I was playing and I took out a helicopter that was chasing us, and the helicopter fell on Felix. He died.
Man, I would have cried. Man. That's hilarious.
But it's even worse. So it fell on him. He died, right? And like when you get hurt in the game, you get down, right? Obviously. So I was like running over to get him up. I couldn't even get him up. He was dead instantly. And then like the way he was positioned, he was like under a tarp kind of a thing.
Oh man.
So I couldn't get in there. So like it drops like a dog tag. So I guess if you grab the dog tag, there's some way to bring him back. I'm not sure. But like I'm standing there and there's a dog tag and I'm trying to get to it. But like it's hurting me so much that the first time around I just went down immediately. So I was like, damn, I had to crawl away and I had to use my my self revive. I was like, I can't go back for you. And so so the way the mission was set up, it was like you're supposed to go to these different sites and blow up these missiles, right? I go through, so Felix gets down, whatever. I'm like, all right, what? I got one more thing I have to blow up, so I'm gonna go do that. I lost my self revive, so that sucked. Now I get to the place and there's like a juggernaut on me, so like I'm stressing out about that. I don't have a self revive. I barely have plates. Like I'm like in the wind at this point. I somehow managed to get through, blow up the thing I needed to blow up. And I'm like trying to extract, and there's like another helicopter following me. I blow up the helicopter. I'm like, I'm gone. I'm on the plane to exfil, and the game crashes. And when I tell you, I was so fucking pissed. It's like not even an exaggeration. And it was everything that could possibly go wrong in that moment went wrong, and it was horrible. So the mode is fun, but some of the other technical issues that are happening with Call of Duty are like interfering with some of those moments. So it's hard to really give it as high of a score as I want. But I will say that out of all of that, it's just a fun game. So it is what it is.
I ain't mad at it. I'm having a decent time.
For sure.
Could be worse. Could be a lot worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean it could be Battlefield, right? Like that was much worse, significantly worse. But at the same time, you know what? I'm not even getting into it because I'm going to get into a whole other tangent about it. But, we'll keep an eye out with Call of Duty. Obviously, like I said, we'll see what's going on the 16th. But outside of that, guys, I think that's going to be it for this week's episode. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure to check us out on our social media platforms at XPackPod on Twitter and Xpansion Pack Podcast on TikTok. We will check you guys out next week. Peace.
Hiya.